I know the question you're asking yourself is how much to pack for a trip, how much is good enough, and how much is too much.
Hello, new and old viewers. My name is Omoyo Karaoke, and welcome to this channel.
You know, when I was thinking about doing this video, I was asking myself, are 2 trips enough for me to come here and share tips about packing your yarn projects, your yarn for your trips, your travel? Maybe they are, and maybe not. If 2 trips are not enough for me to come and share tips, then how many are enough? And how long will it take me to travel those many enough times to say I qualify to come and give you tips? So anyway, we are going to work with my 2 trips, because my 2 trips, one was taken by air. It was a local flight, and regulations traveling by air are the same whether you're doing local or you're doing international. The second one was by road. Let's get into this video. What you need to ask yourself when you're packing for your travel is, I wrote the questions down. Ask yourself, how long does it take me to finish this project that I want to pack? Do I have that time during my travel? Do I want to finish it, or do I just want to make some progress? Number 2, ask yourself, how many activities have I planned for myself during this travel? Will I have enough time to knit all these projects that I'm putting into my bag? 3, out of my time between activities, how much time can I allocate to knitting and crocheting? And that will let you know how much you can pack. 4, how long can you knit without a break? Just in case you're taking a trip or a travel or a tour or a holiday to simply go and knit. How long can you knit without a break? Then that will inform what kind of projects you carry to that trip. I will tell you, there is no appropriate answer of how much is good enough and how much is too much. I wish I asked myself those questions during my first trip and my second trip. But I am also happy that it's only taking me 2 trips to learn this thing. And so in my future trips, I'm going to ask myself those questions, and I'm going to get better and better. Let me share the tips that I have learned on packing and traveling with yarn. Here with me, honestly, I think it's going to be a beanie, but it could also be a neck warmer. We will see when I finish. I started this last night. This is how far I have gone. So the first thing when you're thinking about traveling with your yarn, you're thinking several things, maybe 3, maybe 4. Let me see. The first one is the tools you need. The second one is the yarn you're carrying, or if you're carrying work in progress, that is WIPs, the WIPs you need to carry. The third one is how you're going to pack it. And the fourth one, you need to think about the convenience of being able to walk around with a project that you may need to meet, maybe on the way, in a plane, in a car, in a train, at a coffee shop. So let's start with the tools. What tools do you need? We have the standard tools that we use, and those are the tools that you know at any one point, planned or unplanned, you might need them. So I think all of us have a little bag like this one. Probably you bought yours for the tools, or you took one of your toilet bags like me. That was a freebie from a company like me, and that's where you store your tools. So these are tools that you never know whether you need them, but you're sure you might need them. I don't know if that sounds true. So in here, the things that I know I might need, I am so sure I might need, but I don't know when I will need them, are the ones that I carry here. So I have this little coin bag that I use it for my stitch markers that I put in a small ziplock, because there are so many. When you buy many like this, they'll come in a similar ziplock. But over time, if you lose your ziplock or you start accumulating many loose ones, you can get a ziplock. Then I also have buttons in here, some accessories for other projects that are really small, and I put in there. In the same bag, I have my sewing thread and needles, because when you're traveling, the clothes have a way, what you wear, not what you're knitting, but what you wear, they just have a way of, that's the time the button goes, that's the time. So for my travel, I have these ones to help me fix those problems with my clothes as I travel, so I don't leave that behind. And this is a coin bag, very cheap coin bag. I also have scissors. When I bought these scissors, I bought them because they were fancy and I had seen other knitters with them, and I thought they're cute, I should also have one. But the other advantage that I have learned over time is that this would, in some cases, get into the plane. I would really insist that if you're flying, you make sure you read the airline guidelines on these things, and especially if you're a knitter and crocheter. The other thing that I carry here is my darning needle. I only have one, so I keep it with a thread of the last project that I have used it on, and these are some of the swatches that I make when I'm learning new stitches. So I'll just put like this and I put it there. So in here I'll have my tape measure, which I also don't leave behind. And then if I am traveling, I'll probably add other tools like needles. If I need to carry such circular needles are usually packaged short, I can add them into this bag and I'll be able to carry this as my tool bag. That is what it always carries, and it would be able to accommodate a few extra needles that I might need when I'm traveling. So those are the tools. So what I do is, if I'm traveling by air, I will check in this for me. The second tip I have is on what you want to carry. Do you want to carry yarn and go start new projects, or do you want to carry WIPs that you're going to finish? So let's start with WIPs. So you want to carry WIPs, and the WIPs you have to consider whether they are WIPs that you can finish. If you're flying, you need to consider the size of those whips. I mean, you can't do a blanket in an airplane. Like, you won't have that space. But if you're flying first class, you will. Yeah, but blankets, big sweaters, those will be cumbersome to do in the airplane. So you must think about what whips you would like to carry. My advice or my tip is carry whips that are small. You see, like what I'm knitting? This is small enough to even fit in your handbag with your yarn. And you will be able to sit with your handbag, remove it easily, work on it, and put it back on your handbag when you arrive where you're going. However, you have to think about the needles you're using on that project, because if they are metal, they will not be accepted for you to go on, for you to take them inbound. But they are needles like this, wooden ones, the bamboo ones. Takumi has really nice ones that are acceptable. These are not even detectable in the scanning machine. So if your project has this metal needles, you can exchange and put them on the wooden ones so that you're able to take it on the plane and work on it. The other thing to consider about whips, what I have learned, avoid complicated whips, because you either traveling for work or you're traveling for holiday. Either way, you have a lot of other things to do, a lot of other activities to do, and you want to be able to enjoy your holiday, and you want to be able to enjoy or to finish your work if you're traveling for work, and have something that is not, have a project that is not too complicated that it's a headache to work on after a long day. You want a project that is calming and relaxing to work on in between your activities or after a long day. Unfortunately, all of us knitters and crocheters have this fear of not having enough yarn, not having enough projects to work on when we are traveling. So we always tend to overpack. And you know what? I am so guilty of that. My first trip, I packed I think I packed enough that I could do that. I could make those in 6 months. I packed so much. I kept thinking, maybe I will not like to do this. Maybe I will want to start a new project. Maybe I can finish this. Yeah, we have that fear of not having enough. So that's a big challenge for all of us. So whenever you're doing your packing, remember that you have two hands and try to be realistic and to reduce your fear of not having enough. So some of the best whips to carry is, if you're a knitter, small items like beanies, neck warmers, socks, gloves, those small projects will be a quick finish, so they'll give you the feeling of achievement. They will also be easy to work on anywhere. They'll be easy to carry. If you're a crocheter, again, look for small projects that will give you the same fulfillment. I traveled and made myself a pair of socks. I traveled and I was able to make myself a hat. I traveled and I was able to finish this and that. They give you a sense of fulfillment and achievement, as opposed to creating more frustrations of looking at everything you packed and nothing was finished. Ask me about that. I know too well. I know too well. And that's why I'm sharing that with you. Save yourself that frustration of I did not finish or I rushed through. Touched this, made no much progress. Touched the other, made no much progress. Touched another one, made no much progress. Think about your activities. Think about the people you're going to meet. think about the travels. What are you going to be doing? Are you going to be having coffee? Are you going to be alone, or are you going to be around so many people? All those things will impact how much you can knit and crochet. Yeah, so think about those ones when you're packing. Okay? If you choose to pack yarn and go start new projects, my advice, because I've been here, I took so much yarn to Diani to start new projects. My advice is have those projects in advance. Choose the yarn you want to use in advance. Pack knowing what you're going to knit or crochet. And remember to make them small, exciting, easy to do projects. The idea of carrying yarn to start new projects that you're going to start researching when you're traveling, that you think you're going to get inspiration when you're traveling, that you think you can figure out when you're traveling, for me, it just made things more frustrating, because I would start thinking about projects when I already packed this yarn, this type, these colors, and then the projects I'm coming up with do not fit the colors or do not fit the yarn. And it was such a frustrating moment, especially when I was in Diani. So think about the projects you would like to go and start when you're traveling in advance. Pack the right yarn, the right colors in advance. Save yourself the frustrations. You're traveling to enjoy and have fun. Remember? Yes. So the third item or the third tip is how you're going to pack your things, your WIPs, your new yarn, your tools. You need to know how to pack, because up and above your yarn items, you have your own other luggage that you need to carry. You have your clothes and everything else, and you have the yarn. So again, avoid too much, like I did. Avoid too much. And go for bags. This is a free bag. You can actually, some people might know, it's a free bag from a shop. Go for bags that can be handbag plus project bags. So you won't need to have this with your project and yarn, and then you're carrying another handbag, because two loose items, if you're like me, you're likely to keep forgetting one or lose one. But they are also cumbersome to carry, especially in some places with a lot of movement. Two bags will be cumbersome. So go for a bag that can accommodate your personal items like a wallet, lotions, and all the stuffs you need to carry out depending on where you're going, your project, and also your yarn. And this would be something you can carry inboard when flying, and you can sit with it comfortably in a car or in a train, and it won't take so much space and it won't be too cumbersome to carry. Smaller bags that are easy to take, especially if you're planning to go for coffees. Maybe you'll find yourself knitting in the beach where you don't need to carry so much. A smaller bag that takes just one project and your wallet and small items, and is comfortable and convenient to carry in some places, will help. This is from my riding club. Now they will know what I am using it for. I'm using it for my yarn. Yeah. So make sure you have the bigger ones that you can pack a lot, and you have smaller ones that you will be able to take away small projects like this one to a coffee shop or any other place. Even when you're visiting friends and family, you don't have to carry so much. So that's where the convenience, which is the last tip I'm giving you, comes in. the convenience of how you're going to be able to carry around your needs, your WIPs, your tools conveniently without personally feeling overwhelmed and like you have a lot of load to take with you everywhere, as well as being able to travel comfortably wherever you're going and whatever activities you're doing. So I know, having watched this video up to this point, and if you have come this far, thank you so much. Please give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed yet. If you ask yourself those questions, you will pack better. Today, every trip will be a learning lesson, and every trip will be better than the one before. So I hope this is helpful to you, and if it is helpful, once again, remember to give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And let's see you in the next video, where I will show you what I made in the month of January. And in that video, I also want to talk about this yarn, this seal yarn. All my videos, I talk about this. I see something about the seal yarn. I have been on internet researching any reviews, anyone who says anything about this yarn, and I haven't found. But I have used this yarn for almost a year now. It is one of my favorites, and I feel it's time for me to share my experience with this yarn with you. So make sure to look out for that video coming up right next. Bye bye.